Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and today I'm here with a brand new video. Welcome to Brunette Bibliophile, where I post bookish videos and writing content. Today I am here with episode 2 of my book writing series. I know it's been a while since episode 1 and I have done other writing videos in between, but today I am here to briefly give an update on the status of my work in progress Cinderella retelling. So I think the last time that I really talked about it was back in October when I did the history of my work in progress tag, and I had mentioned that I finished my draft. So back in October, that would be draft 2 that I finished. I did take a break for about 4 months because I did give that draft to 2 beta readers and I got my notes back probably towards the end of January, and I officially picked it up for draft 3 in March. My intent was to have draft 3 done by the end of April, but I ended up pushing it to the end of May just because I haven't actively been working on it every single day or as heavy as I was back doing draft 2. Of course, I don't have it with me, but I have been using one of the copies that I printed out for a beta reader to also make my own notes, and I've been going through it and making notes, and I'm almost done. Between draft 2 and draft 3, the chapters have been reduced from, I believe, 25 down to about 22 and an epilogue. I am currently in the process of editing chapter 19, so I'm almost done. My intent is to finish draft 3, probably take about a week off, and then dive into what I'm going to call draft 3.5. I'm only calling it draft 3.5 because I only intend to do small things in the draft, but I'm not sure if I'm only going to stick to those 2 things or if I'm going to end up doing everything. One of the major updates that I have had since I last talked to you all about this is when I moved to a new library, I ended up making 2 friends with coworkers who are also writers, and we have formed a little writers group / writers club, and then Will also joined because he's working on his book as well. We had our first meeting the other day, and we kind of just talked about our goals that we'd like to have for summer. So I have a couple of goals that I'm going to be working on. One of them is to finish draft 3.5. Well, it would be to start and finish draft 3.5. But I also think I'm going to be doing some other things, such as potentially participating in Camp NaNoWriMo, just because it's not as intensive as regular NaNoWriMo in November. So I think I might be trying that just to kind of have some sort of motivational goal to complete. But we're trying to meet every 2 weeks, and then we have been trading chapters amongst everyone. So I think right now everybody has chapter 2 of mine, and I've been getting some feedback on that, which I'll be incorporating into probably draft 4. I still don't have a title. I genuinely do not know what I'm going to call this. Right now, it's just my Cinderella retelling. That's just what I call it right now. I did do like some write-outs of like different words that are associated with this book, and hopefully I will figure something out, hopefully by the end of summer. I will say that I have not been as focused on working on draft 3 as I was on draft 1 or draft 2. I think that is mostly because I am also planning a wedding. I'm less than a year out from getting married, so that's kind of taken my focus, as well as I work, and that's been taking my focus. Also, I've kind of been in a weird reading mood lately. I feel like I can only pick one or the other. I either read or I write, so I'm kind of in this weird mesh of both that I can't really seem to separate. So my main focus is not on writing at the moment. And one of my goals for, I believe, this year is to have a final version of it by the end of the year. And honestly, I kind of wasn't thinking about that when I made these goals. And I don't know if that's going to be feasible now, purely because my wedding is in January. The end of the year is December. So of course I've picked crunch time for a wedding to want to have a final version of my book. I know I'm talking about a bunch of stuff all around, but kind of one of the last things that I'd like to talk about is this story has definitely transformed from where it started to where it is now. The skeleton of it is still the same, but I've definitely been getting better about weaving in more story and trying to layer more of the subplots in. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on it. I still have a lot of things that I'd like to fix. I'm coming up with other ideas to meld into it. And there's a lot of rewrites that I've done where some of it is like great, and then some rewrites or add-ins that I've done I'm not sure about. So I kind of want to get feedback on those and then go from there. One thing that I did a couple of months ago back in February was I watched a live webinar of the author Jamie Paxton, who wrote The Life and Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly and also Lucky Girl. She did a webinar about the 4-act story structure, and I remember when I watched that, I wish I could find the playback, I can't find it anywhere, but when I watched that, it was so helpful and so inspiring at the time, and at the time I wasn't writing, so I printed out her document on the 4-act story structure, and I definitely think maybe within my break period between drafts, I want to go through and fill that out and see how it can help me with this story and making it the best it can be and layering in those subplots and basically finding what I need to add into this story to make it the best it can be. So that's kind of everything that I wanted to talk about. Hopefully I won't have too big of a gap before I have another update on my writing, but that's all I have for now. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every week, so click subscribe so you can be updated when I post those. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel so cold. The answers fall like rain, and somehow we're okay. My story drifts between shadows and smoke.